I am recording. Ba-ba-ba. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 647th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. I'm your host, Steve. With me is Hannah.
I am here. I did not play the Pokemon Go event yesterday, but I at least knew it was going on, as opposed to many people who apparently didn't realize. Because that's where we're at in that game now.
Mm-hmm. That was our pre-game conversation. Bobby also here.
Yeah, I did do the event yesterday. It was a fine event. It was research. It was very easy research tasks that led to encounters with a couple shiny Pokemon for me. So it was fine.
A raging review.
Yeah.
Put that on the back of the box, Niantic. We have some news for you. We are going to talk about the Pokemon Sleep stuff. We have more Pokemon Pocket stuff to talk about, and then some smaller things in between. So I know people are deprived of their Pokemon Sleep news, so we'll start with that. So the thing we mentioned last week, was it last week or was it the week before? I don't know. It's been a blur. Is that the developers select button are handing over Pokemon Sleep to ILCA, and ILCA and the Pokemon Company, which we talked about like 6 months ago, created a new company called Pokémon Works, which I feel like it only exists to get rid of the name ILCA. That's what I think.
You know, that's possible. There are probably tax reasons or something.
So I think my app has updated. I don't know about your guys' app. It says Pokemon Works now when you open the app on the splash screen.
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed that.
Oh, yeah, there are three. It's like there are three names on there now instead of just the two that there were before.
So, so there was an interview on Famitsu that this was the plan all along, and you can go. I'll link the show notes in the art. I'll link the article in the show notes. I'll link the show notes in the article. I'll link the article in the show notes. But it's Famitsu, if for those not familiar, is a Japanese magazine that, because magazines don't really exist anymore, they're also a Japanese website that publishes. It's like Japan's IGN, but that's like a real big disservice. I don't know. Japan's Game Informer. That also seems bad because I don't think a lot of people.
Japan's Game Pro, even though it's not around anymore.
Pro. I think people liked. Oh, EGM. People really liked EGM. Back in the day.
And it's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Not that one.
So there was an interview. I hit the little translate button. It's 2024. That translate button on a website does not work as good as you would think.
Does work better than it used to, though.
That's true.
True.
So two sentences I pulled here. The first one, again, translate through Google/Apple, whatever the little button on the top of the browser does. At the time of first contract, it was decided that select button would leave development after a certain period of time. As for our company, we want to do it together more, but the reason we talked about it at the beginning of Hanaro and the same as King Koi. Those are the other two games they did, and I think King Koi actually is Magikarp Jump. That last sentence doesn't make sense. As for our company, we wanted to do it together more. Just Google Translate. So I guess the takeaway from this is this wasn't like the Pokemon Company being unhappy with select buttons.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, they're like, you have too much communication with your fan base. We're taking it away from you.
No, that was my first reaction was, oh, this makes sense why they have been so good at communication and have been giving such good gifts to the community, because they are not going to be the ones who are blamed when it gets worse as the game goes on.
Like, our hands are clean.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
ILCA's problem now.
Yep.
The other sentence I pulled, again, Google Translate. It says, I don't think select button is the one who keeps doing the same thing, and I think we can take a new path. To be honest, I didn't expect to be followed by Pokemon Sleep for so long. It's been way long to go until release. In that sense, we have been able to help you for too long. This sounds very negative, but again, Google Translate. So we are enthusiastic that we must do our best to prepare a long-term system to repay it. My true feeling is that I'm lonely. Laughs. Thanks, Google Translate.
Yeah, Google Translate not great there.
I mean, it's mostly just them saying that they worked on the game longer than they had expected to.
Yeah. There's some other things from it. The actual interview is 3 Pokemon from Select, or 3 employees from Select. 3. There was a Snorlax that showed up.
3 Pikachu in a trench coat did this interview.
It's crazy. That's why they never translated it. They wouldn't want to know. Kabigan is sitting there. So it was like 3 people from Select Button. Somebody from the Pokemon Company, and then I think the other one was like somebody from like Pokemon Works. It was like 5. It was like a 5-person interview. Again, it's in the show notes. They also like talked about how they were like really proud of the legendary event, and then the interviewee was like, "Are there more legendaries coming?" And they're like, "Of course, but we won't talk about that." They talked about like the Apple Watch integration. And then the other like takeaway from this poorly translated interview is that they want to make sure that Pokemon Sleep makes it to all 1,000 plus Pokemon. Like that was one of their goals, is to.
Wow.
Oh, and then another thing, is they really wanted to make sure that Lapis and Power Plant felt different when you got there.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of went in with like colors and like how they feel different when you get there for the first time.
Other than just a bunch of Rattata showing up the first few days that you sleep.
Yeah.
No, they do. I think that they hit on that though. I think that they well, I haven't been to Power Plant yet, but from what I've seen, they definitely seem different. Everything seems unique, especially they make everything seem unique with just the music alone, honestly. Like if you're playing with sound on, like that in itself does make a big difference when you're going from place to place. None are as good as Topalo's music, but that's a different conversation.
Are you both still playing Sleep daily?
Wait, what?
Are you both still playing Sleep?
Hannah, you're not though?
No.
For our audio listeners, Hannah just shook her head.
I shook my head in a very small way because I feel like I should be, but this game doesn't capture me the way that I want it to.
Let's hear it. Give us the complaints, Hannah.
I've been saying it. I have nothing new that I haven't already said. I just am not interested in the morning, and it just, as soon as something gets harder in my life, like work picks up for a week, I drop off because I need more sleep, and then I wake up and immediately have to get to my desk and playing Pokemon Sleep in the morning.
You're 100%ing it every night.
No, it's not. It's taking it away. Waking up to play Pokemon Sleep first thing in the morning is taking away 10 minutes of sleep that I could be getting.
That's true.
But
yeah.
I did play it this morning, and I learned how many days of research you can backlog before it starts dropping them off. Like, you can cover the research for 15 days and no longer.
Cut it off.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, if Hannah's on your friends list, maybe consider getting somebody new if you want that daily candy.
Yeah, that's probably a safe bet at this point. I will open it occasionally, and when I opened it, it felt kind of nostalgic coming back to the game after more than 15 days this morning. But especially, they just released Sneasel in the game, and that's one of my favorite Pokemon. And if that didn't bring me back, I think it's it's an occasional open for me.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's fine.
I feel like I've had a change of heart with Pokemon Sleep recently.
Oh, and what?
Yeah, it's because of the ILCA news. I can't touch another ILCA game. I really think it's funny because the developers talk about how like they wanted to make Lapis and Power Plant like different, and how they wanted people to feel like they've accomplished something from getting there. And I think I feel the opposite as a player. And I think what really broke me, which is funny because like if you've listened to the show for the last year, you know that like Pokemon Sleep was something I raved about and I loved and I adored. But when I made it to the Power Plant, which was the very first week, and I've done nothing but Power Plant since, minus the 1 week where they were like, you have to go to the Halloween event. You have to go to Greengrass for the Halloween event. And then this past week, I went to Snowdrop for Sneasel. Didn't get a Sneasel, by the way, for this whole week.
Same.
But don't worry, Master 6 got me a Bellsprout. Not sure why Bellsprout spawning in the tundra. Also, I'm at Master 6, and sure, okay. But I think what broke me was how like much time you have to put into it and still not feel rewarded. And what I mean by that is like, I'm not a min-max player. If you go to like the Pokemon Sleep subreddit, or you go to that one site like Rayornex or whatever it's called, where like the calculator site, like there is a hardcore community that is the min-maxing everything. I'm not a min-max player. Like I have a couple. I was very lucky with a couple Pokemon, but if I get like a B plus Pokemon or an A minus, I'll crank that baby up. Especially because like if it's something like a Kangaskhan or a Ditto or a Dedenne, like how often are you seeing those Pokemon? Like and I say this all the time. I will say it again. How long has Lapis Lakeside been out? Still don't have a good route. It's not even like a B minus routes. All my routes are bad. So what broke me was going to Power Plant. I saved up a lot of free gems. I got some of the bundles, and I saw 17 Shinx since caught 17 Shinx since Power Plant came out. 14 Aeron, 13 Grubbin. That's over 30 some Pokemon. And none of those Pokemon are good.
Yep.
None of them.
That sounds about right.
My 13 Grubbin, none of them were ingredient up. None of them.
Dang. That's
So I think that's I feel like what broke me, because
Grubbin broke you.
Because not only are you looking for ideal natures for certain Pokemon, but you're looking for ideal stats. But on top of that, you're looking for ideal ingredients, right?
Yeah.
Like
you
could
too
get
many factors.
Yeah, exactly. There are too many factors. And when that week was over, or not that week, when 5, 6, 7 weeks of Power Plant is over, the other thing I couldn't help thinking about is like, none of these Pokemon are hungry ever.
Yeah.
Like I woke up this morning and the thing that was hungry, I'm not even making this up. The thing that was hungry was the Bellsprout. Not the Ditto, not the Glaceon, not the Mareep. The Bellsprout was hungry. So it's like I'm still on Premium Pass. And then I thought to myself, if I actually wanted to catch more Pokemon a day, so like I caught a Mareep this morning. I used my Premium Biscuit, that's 4. I used a Poke Biscuit, that's 1. Cool, caught the Mareep. Still don't like. I have like a C Ampharos, but it's good. It has berry finding, fine, whatever. Good. It has helped me through the electric event, but like maybe I could get a better Mareep. It was the best option out of everything. If I just wanted to catch like the Riolu standing next to the Mareep, which Riolu is a bad Pokemon you shouldn't catch. My option is 5 Pokeballs.
Yeah.
and I have 10. So I want to spend half my resources on a Riolu that's probably going to be as bad as all the Grubbin I caught, all the Aeron I caught, all the Shinx I caught. Like, there's no...
Mm-hmm.
You just get tired of it.
Yeah, like, the resources in the game are too low, and the randomization is too high. Yep. Like, if I could just catch more Pokemon, I probably would feel less bad. But I think an average player, and I don't even consider myself an average player because I have the premium pass. An average player is what, catching maybe one Pokemon a night?
Maybe.
Yeah,
as someone who hasn't had the premium pass, it's one every other night at best.
What does the not premium biscuit get you? Does it get you 3? Do you get one biscuit that gives you 3 a day? Okay.
So...
Yeah.
Like, I get why mints aren't a thing because they want you to keep catching Pokemon. But if I could catch more Pokemon, I would feel less bad. If more Pokemon were just hungry, that would also help. But I think another thing that broke me was Sneasel. Sneasel is like 16 ticks.
Is it really?
Yeah. So
wait, Sneasel is?
Yep. So if Sneasel showed up in Tundra, which it didn't, by the way, and it wasn't hungry, what? I have 15 Pokeballs.
Yep.
I can't even catch Sneasel.
And it's going to get full.
Yeah, because after the second biscuit, everything is 50-50. It's either full or it's not. It's either full or not. That's how it works. It's just 50-50 after the second biscuit.
Oh, is that what it is? Is it just a coin flip, basically?
Yeah, it's just a coin flip every biscuit after the second one.
Oh, not good to know. Just cool. Great information.
Okay, last thing that broke me is Dedenne. So because I've been on Power Plant so much, I finally started seeing Dedenne.
Yeah.
Like prior to this, I probably saw maybe 4 Dedenne. And all bad. But like, I like Dedenne as a Pokemon. I still think Dedenne's main skill is awesome. Like increasing crit. And you know what's worse than not seeing Dedenne? Is seeing multiple Dedenne in a week and them never being hungry. And then, like, what's your option at that point? Like, I guess I'll give it a Pokeball, and now, cool, it's 15 more ticks to go. Or actually, I think Dedenne is more than 16.
You're investing for the long run. This is not a fast-paced game.
Yeah.
But it's not,
and eventually that just gets tiring.
Well, so
because
it does.
I think that what you have said about it being the catching being too slow and the randomization being too high is absolutely the balance that I'm having trouble with too. It just, you are never getting the Pokemon that you want, and it takes too long to get any Pokemon at all. And so if they lowered the randomization some by being able to guarantee better Pokemon in some way, that would probably help. Or if they just made it so you could catch more Pokemon, that would also probably help. But the balance where it's at right now is not good.
I think if more Pokemon were hungry, it fixes that
a little bit. I mean,
because you're going from like 5 Pokeball to like 3, plus a hungry Pokemon has a higher chance for like crit catch.
Yeah, I mean, it speeds up catching some.
Yes, but I do think there has to be some rework. Like, I can't be. I know this sounds like a very much like you having a relationship with somebody for like 2 years and being like, I love everything about them, and as soon as you guys like break up, you're like, this is what I hate, and I hated this, and I hated when they do this. This is what that feels like to me.
You're breaking up with Pokemon Sleep.
Like, I still like it. I think I love the graphics. I love that it's not asking a lot from me. I do like the routine of it. I like that the numbers get bigger. I do like the Pokemon that I've invested in. But all of these things of like, you would think that like being on Power Plant and being level 60 and doing all this would like, it just feels like none of my progress in the last 18 months or whatever has really mattered, because everything is just as random as it was from day one, and resources are just as tight as they were since day one.
Yeah, I get that. I think I have a little bit of a different perspective than both of you. maybe because I came into the game later, so I haven't been playing as long as both of you. But I'm also a little biased this week because I did catch a shiny Ditto and a non-shiny but a Delibird on Tundra this week, so that was fun.
Bobby in the pocket of ILCA. They were like, this, give the man a shiny. He'll love our game.
But and neither of them were bad either. I was kind of happy about that. They weren't bad. But for me, what's interesting is that what I've kind of done is I've kind of stuck to a specific team for quite some time now.
Yeah.
Because of I've built up the close to one of the the most the one of the meals that gets you the most points. So I've kind of just stuck to the same team for quite a while. Like I just haven't really been changing it up. So I've kind of seen this game as not like I'm not putting as much like I'm still opening it every day. And if I miss a meal or something, like whatever, I miss a meal. Like I'm really not giving it a whole lot of like at first I was like, oh my gosh, I missed a meal. This is ridiculous. Like I can't believe it, and now it's just like it happens, like I definitely am not playing it as much as I was. And one of the things I did, because I had Pokemon Sleep on my home screen along with Pokemon Go. And then when Pocket came out, I didn't have room on my home screen for all three based on like how I have my home screen formatted. So what I did was I ended up actually making a shortcut as an app icon. And so now I actually have to do one click and then I have to choose which game I want to go into. And I was thinking like, if I do this, will I open these apps less? Because like it's not sitting right on the home screen. And I do open these apps less, but in like not a bad way, right? Like in a way of like, I'm still enjoying playing Pokemon Sleep because I'm not playing it as much. So when I'm playing it, I don't feel like I'm playing it out of necessity to play. I don't feel like I saw it on my home screen, I opened it, now I'm opening it, now I'm in it. Like I feel like I'm choosing to go play it, and it might just be for a moment to like collect ingredients or whatever, or it might be because it's the morning. I also don't play it like as soon as I wake up. It's not like I don't open my phone as soon as I wake up. I'll usually like hit the Pokeball to wake that up, but then I'll wait a couple hours before like I'll be like, oh, I gotta go do this before like it hits lunchtime. When I have a few minutes. So I'm definitely playing the game differently. I wouldn't say that I like it less than before. It's just that because I'm not playing it as much, it doesn't feel as needy as it did before.
Yeah, my first reaction is that that's the first step to dropping the game eventually.
Possibly, and that's fine. But the thing that's different is that I like just a few weeks ago we were talking about how I was like I open the game and it feels like you're opening it and not super happy with opening it. But now it's like when I open it, I'm like I'm not opening it as often, and so when I am opening it, I am like happier playing the game. And so yeah, maybe that leads to like me not playing it at one point, but for now I guess I'm just not expecting as much out of it anymore because I know it's like a much slower paced game than, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that it's a much slower paced game than the other Pokemon mobile games on my phone, right? It's slower paced than Pocket. It's slower paced than Go for sure. And I'm not a min-max player as well. That Pokemon Sleep Reddit is wild. If you ever go onto that subreddit, there's a whole lot going on in there.
I complained about that Reddit like pretty quickly, like when the game came out. On this podcast, I complained about the Reddit, and there were people from the Reddit that came to the YouTube comments to be like, "No, you don't understand the rules." And one of like the rules was like they deleted like any post with shinies.
Yeah.
Even if it was like a helpful post and there was like a shiny Charizard foot in like the corner of the image, they would like delete it because they didn't want people to
humble brag.
Yeah, because the people that they didn't want people to like feel bad or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, and my argument I think at the time was like, it's Reddit. If you don't want to see the post, downvote it and then just move on with life. Like that's it. And then if things get downvoted, then that doesn't. And now they have shiny posts all the time on that subreddit.
Yeah. Well, I think Pokemon Go went through that same thing. I think the Pokemon Go subreddit, and maybe the Silph Road as well, definitely had periods of time where it was like, no more shinies, don't post any shinies anymore. And then a few weeks later, it'd be like, well, we took the shiny ban away and now people can post them again. And then it'd be like a new wave a year later, like, stop posting shinies. You know, it's just.
I mean, half the posts on the Pokemon Sleep subreddit are like, "I got 2 Pikachu. Like, which one do
Which
you
one's
think is better?" And
Yep.
then the comments are just like, "These are both bad."
Yep.
It's like 90% of comparing these Pokemon. Just go to the comment, and the top comment is both of these are bad. Keep looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
But eventually you need to use one of them. So even if they're both bad, that's the problem. They're always bad.
Yeah. I will stick with Pokemon Sleep. I still do like it. I think I think the honeymoon phase of Pokemon Sleep is over for me. It's been long. I do hope that like the Christmas event is really good because it was pretty good last year. And I'm assuming for Pokemon Day there will be a Pokemon Sleep update. I'm sure Pokemon Day is where they would show new legendaries. Knowing them, it would probably be Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, right? Like,
This is
or
interesting to hear you say that. To hear you talk about the Christmas event or the holiday event, because and the Halloween event, I would say people probably thought that was pretty good. Like not great, maybe, but it was pretty good. This is exactly the same way that people were reacting to Pokemon Go the year after its first year. So people got to this part like autumn time frame or spring down under, and it was like, oh, I'm pretty bored of the game, but hey, the Halloween event's coming up. That was really great last year. So maybe that'll push me back into it. Hey, the holiday event was great last year. Maybe that'll push me back into it. And those do continue to be, if you think about it in Pokemon Go, those continue to be the events that people are like, well, the Halloween event's coming up. Like everybody's got to get ready for the Halloween event. Oh, the holiday event's coming up. Like everybody's got to get ready for the winter holiday event. And so it's interesting to see that pattern in another Pokemon game where it's like, oh, the holiday event's coming up. Like maybe that'll that's a good one. So that'll push me back into
don't worry,
liking it
Pocket's
for a
the
bit.
same way.
Yeah.
Oh, the new booster packs will get me back in.
Yeah.
This is how these work.
Mhm.
It's how it works with the physical merchandise too.
True. Very true. Yeah.
The last thing I'll say before we take a break is the part. So select button says like, we didn't expect to work on Pokemon Sleep forever. We want to do different things. I heard a rumor. I'm going to really want to stress rumor. I have no source. I don't know where this came from. It could have just been somebody on MySpace posting. But it came out the same time as this. The rumor was that the Pokemon company wants select button to work on another Pokemon game.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they're done with the development, this is why Pokemon Works exists. Obviously, Pokemon Works was created before this announcement. Select button came out and said this was always the plan to pass it over to ILCA. So they made Pokemon Sleep team made Magikarp Jump. They made Pokemon Sleep. If the Pokemon company is happy with Select Button as developers, because I think both those games are great at their core, like everything. Mm-hmm. It would be. I would love to see another Pokemon game from Select Button. Would love to see it. 100%. Like, do I want ILCA to take over development? No, not really. But if that means that Pokemon the team of Select Button is going to work on a new Pokemon game, that sounds awesome. But there's like nothing to like, so there's not like an ounce to solidify how real that rumor is, but it is like nice to think about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Although who knows if ILCA is becoming the stewards of any ongoing Pokemon service other than Go, maybe whatever they work on next after Pokemon Sleep, whatever Select Button works on next after Pokemon Sleep will be handed over to them eventually as well.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, because ILCA, well, they did Home, right? They're developing Home. Yeah. And then they did Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not,
so so as of right now, we know that ILCA is in charge of... It's
an interesting track record.
But
Home,
yeah,
Diamond Pearl, and Sleep. And then they make their own games. So they've made mobile games, and then they came out with like Sand Land game, which is like some anime.
Okay.
Was the game.
Okay. So at least in this case, it's not like ILCA started this game, right? They're just taking over what's already built and going to build upon that, I would assume, in the future. But I mean, with Sleep, I mean, but at least it's not like they built it from the ground up. You know,
Yeah,
there's
but
something different about that, I guess.
I don't know. I'm kind of hearing that they're taking over and they are going to keep running with what the game is for now. Well, we also are kind of hitting a point where we feel like things in the game kind of need to be changed if it's going to continue. And I'm a little bit worried that as ILCA takes over, as Pokemon Works takes over, it's just going to kind of continue as is and kind of drag along when there are changes that could be made to make it better. And I'm just not sure they're going to be able to make those changes.
I mean, yeah, that is true.
Because we haven't seen very helpful big updates to Pokemon Home over the years. There have been some. But
yeah, that's true. I don't know. Did Magikarp Jump, not that that went to ILCA, but did Magikarp Jump ever have any meaningful like updates to it, or was it pretty much a game that you just started and finished and then you were kind of done once you were done?
I think there was one big update where they added like 20 or 30 more levels or something like that,
I
Okay.
think so.
where
Got it.
you could
But
go
just
farther.
the one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't remember. Okay. Yeah, it's tough with Sleep because there's a premium pass, right? It's a little different where it's like you can't have a game that, I mean, you can have a game that just stays exactly the same. They keep charging you monthly if you want to be premium, and then it eventually just ends.
I mean, there'll be events for sure, but
Yeah,
improvements to the processes in the game, things like changing the way the randomization works, things like changing how frequently you can catch a Pokemon.
right. Yeah.
I don't know if they'll be able to change that.
If they want to add everything, so was it select buttons wanting to, or the Pokemon company saying they'd love to get to a point where Sleep had every Pokemon in it?
Select button wanted every Pokemon.
So the Pokemon company wasn't saying that; it was select button saying that.
Yeah, they in the interview it says like our vision was to eventually make the game go until all the Pokemon were added.
Got it.
And they said there was 125, or not 100, 1,025.
Right. Yeah. They could just do a surprise drop. Every Pokemon is now in the cave.
And you'll still get
Have fun.
Bellsprout at Master Rank 6
Yeah.
on Snowdrop.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll like truly feel when the full merger happens or goes over. Like I don't know if there will be a point where we'll log in and we'll be like, ILCA has definitely had their grubby hands on this.
I will be watching the communication patterns.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not playing the game as much anymore. I want to see how that changes.
Yeah. I don't see anything like about the game making a whole lot of difference once it switches over, because it's already built how it's built. And if they just keep it how it is and just keep the events going, then I feel like you won't really see much of a difference there.
Yeah.
But the communication is top tier with select button, so it will be interesting to see how that changes with the switchover.
Okay, let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we got some smaller Pokemon news, and then we will tackle our Pocket news. So we will be right back. And we are back from our break. Bobby, this is your neck of the woods here.
Yeah, it is.
We should have probably talked about this last week, but last week's episode was already very long. This is off Pokemon.com. Get a holiday photo taken with Pikachu and Eevee at these California events. Attend the Deck the Halls with Pikachu and Eevee event for a photo op and all sorts of goodies. This one just happened, so you missed it, but there was at the Garden Walk Mall in Anaheim from December 7th through 8th. That was the first event, and then if you're listening to this podcast on Monday and you live in California, you can see Pikachu and Eevee at the Broadway Plaza in Walnut Creek from December 14th through 15th. How is that close to you, Bobby? Broadway Plaza, Walnut Creek?
So Walnut Creek is, if I'm looking at this correctly, it's a little bit east of Berkeley, which is more like a little bit more like Northern California. Well, most like Central California, I guess technically. So no, that's quite a drive for me. If I really had wanted to, I could have driven up to Anaheim, which is only about 90 minutes away from me, if I wanted to get my picture with Pikachu and Eevee.
Is that something? Have personal question? Have your kids met Pikachu and Eevee?
Sort of. There was we went to a Pokemon trading card event called Card Party last year in Anaheim. That was not an official, like it wasn't put on by the Pokemon company, but it was put on by this YouTuber, and it was a really nice event, a really good event. Just really about trading cards and stuff. But they did have people that were dressed up like Pikachu and stuff, and my kid loved that a lot.
Were they in the
Temu
big
Pikachu.
the suits like these ones?
They're not. They weren't in the official, like
How
the official ones. They were.
What
in,
did it look like?
I can't honestly. I don't totally remember. I just remember a big Pikachu walking around and my kids being like Pikachu and being super into that. But it wasn't an official Pokemon company event, but it had a lot of the people who are partners with the Pokemon were there, like Real Breaking Nate, and it was put on by a YouTuber named Deep Pocket Monster, if people have heard of him. But they did have a big Pikachu there. So that is how my children have met a Pikachu, but they have never met like the
official Pikachu.
The official Pikachu from the Pokemon company.
They said that the Pokemon will appear from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. PST each day. No reservation required. Photos are available on a first come, first served basis. You will get a digital and a printed photo to commemorate your visit. Guests will also receive a discount voucher for the Pokemon trading card game Scarlet and Violet Surging Sparks Build and Battle Box, redeemable at local hobby shops that hold Pokemon League events, along with a digital discount code for Pokemon Center. The first 1,000 participants each day at each location can receive complimentary Pokemon TCG booster packs. We look forward to seeing you this season. I think super great. This is what they did with the Stellar Maze at the New York Comic Con, which wasn't affiliated with New York Comic Con, but down the street from New York Comic Con, which was like first however many people got free gift bags, and then you go through the maze, but everyone got like a Pokemon Center discount code, and there was a photo opportunity there. So cool that they're doing this.
That's cool. I mean, if they're giving away a discount for Surging Sparks Build and Battle kits, good luck, because they're sold out everywhere right now. Surging Sparks is not easy to come by right at the moment. But that's cool. If they're giving away a Surging Sparks pack to the first 1,000 participants, that is also cool. But,
I have a new appreciation of free events like this as somebody who went to go see a holiday light show last night. It was $38 to drive my car through lights, and then there was it was maybe 10 minutes. Like, it was cool. I don't know, $38 cool. But it was about 3 Christmas songs. You know how you like turn your radio to the thing. So it was about like 10 minutes, 3 songs. And then at the end, it was like you could rent ice skates and do the skating ring, which it was too warm. It was like 41 degrees yesterday. I was like, well, can't ice skate. You can get like $4 hot chocolates that are not very good and like sit by this fireplace. It was like, this feels like it should have been free. Or at least not.
But the business model doesn't work. If that kind of thing was going to be free, there would be logos everywhere.
That's true. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll take Pikachu. I'll take Pokemon's logo. Maybe I'm biased. I'll just take Pokemon's logo any day.
You are biased. That's the difference here. It's a giant Pikachu. So it's free.
Even when I was in Fukuoka, they did like this. What is it called? Like where they had like booths pop up. So like some people were selling Christmas ornaments and some people were selling like hot chocolate, and there was a bunch of food vendors. like I don't know what
Like
that's
a
called.
farmers
Like a
market
winter
type
fair,
thing, but
farmers
like a
market.
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, like a
Yeah.
farmer market winter fair, and it was just really cool. Obviously, that's not it's free to go to, but if you want to buy food, obviously. And then the cool thing about Fukuoka at the time is they had like 7 of them. So if you got hot chocolate at all 7, you would complete the collection of like ceramic cups,
Of course.
which was like really cool.
That's so
Uh,
cute.
It is really cute. I don't know if $40 seeing holiday lights is worth it, but I feel like if I was close to this, I would be like, hey, this is a cool thing to do for a couple hours, is like drive out there. Maybe not like it sounds like it's like 2+ hours for you, Bobby.
Oh, it's like 8 hours for me.
California
Oh,
is
oh.
big.
If
Yeah.
I went to the Walnut Creek one, yeah. Again, the Anaheim one would have been only like 90 minutes away, but yeah. No, I'm not driving 8 hours. No one's driving 8 hours to go get a picture of Pikachu and Eevee, and my
Don't say
kids
no
would
one.
not. Well, no
I
one in
don't
this
know.
family.
Think
Yeah.
No one in this family is, because my kids would be like, "No, we're not sitting in the car for 8 hours for that."
What
to be
about
the...
8 hours and the chance of being able to do G Max Lapras? The logic there, Bobby, is like
Uh-huh.
a bunch of Pokemon fans would be there,
Right.
and then you'd be able to think about it. Think you gotta. Where would the Pokemon fans be for Lapras?
I mean, as we are recording, it is at the closer one today until 8 p.m.
True.
So
Until 8 p.m.
Mm.
I can't. I already have plans for today. I cannot drive to Anaheim. I'm not driving to Anaheim for a picture of Pikachu and Eevee.
You gotta make time for Pikachu. The Pokemon.com also did the Pokemon Center 2024 award show. This is just for you to buy their products. But
Of course, everything that they put on that website is for you to buy their products.
But I just want to go through this real quick because these are like the most popular items. I don't know if it's like most popular because they were reviewed so well, or maybe most popular because they sold, or they're just lying to us and this is what they want to sell for the holiday. Any of those options could be true.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying the 31-inch Psyduck Poke Plush. That is the like what,
the
300
giant Psyduck.
Yeah, like the $300-$400 one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I would imagine that if you're spending that much money, you're probably reviewing it and you're probably very happy with the amount of money you spent.
Maybe you expected higher quality, and maybe the quality is just top notch. And
those big plushes usually have.
I was gonna say
better.
You have at least one of those.
I have the big Meowth.
The big Meowth, yeah.
And it's stuffed under the footboard of my bed. He's like peeking out because I don't know where else to put him.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
The Looming Shadow figure by First for 4, which is the Gengar, Ghastly, Haunter. The Pokemon Company sent me some of these First by 4 figures. They're very expensive. They're like $250, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They are super nice quality. I'm not
they
like
light up in a really nice way that was better than I expected.
Mm-hmm. I'm not like a figure person.
Mm.
They're cool. I don't think I would go out and like buy them on my own. Yeah. I know like figures are probably very popular with our listeners because we've got a bunch of nerds listening, so they're all like anime fans and Pokemon fans and video game fans, and like that's a big thing in those communities. Is like
they can be real cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Would I pay $250 myself? Personally, no. But I'm not going to say it's not good quality. Like they're very nice. They're very nice. So
if there was a Cramorant one,
yeah, okay, well,
like
all right,
that's
all
the
right.
thing.
This is like
Cramorant and Dedenne.
Yeah,
when it's your favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, a lot of Gengar fans out there. So
yeah, there
are. The Pokemon Soda Pop plushes are on here.
Those are cute.
They are very, very good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Pokemon TCG Scorching Charizard Premium Playmat. I don't know what makes this playmat premium than their other playmats.
I don't either. It looks really cool though. I like the colors. The orange and black is really cool.
I think it's mostly just the style of it that makes it premium.
Mhm.
That it looks fancier than a lot of others.
I think.
Well, Andrew O says amazing product, incredible quality. Would definitely buy again.
I think if you look at their playmats, they call all of their playmats premium playmats.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
So
as somebody who has a lot of Pokemon playmats, I don't think they're very premium. They're like fine. Like
the ones that I buy are used as like a desk mat under I'm literally using one under my mouse and keyboard right now. That is a Charizard one.
Yeah.
So,
there are a couple that I've wanted, but they sell out too quickly.
mm-hmm.
yeah, I just don't feel like I know there are play mats as in like TCG play mats.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't been to like a local tournament in a long time.
Yeah.
But back in the day when you went to like a local TCG tournament, they would like pack you in like cattle. And people's play mats would be like overlapping because you were just sitting so close to everyone. That's not to say that the playmat shouldn't be the size it is. I get why it's the size it is, but if I was to use it for my desk, like I love oversized mats for my desk. Like I want my keyboard and my mouse and like a little bit more room.
That's how it looks best.
I have that with my this one's smaller, the one I'm using right here in this room, but in my office, the one that I have, it's like the Pixel, it's like Pokemon Pixel.
Oh, that one sold out. That one sold out like instantly.
That one, I have that, and I have a full size keyboard with like because I'm an accountant, so I have the number pad on the side of my keyboard and a mouse, and there's room on both sides. Like it does fill that whole area. It's not like filling up like the entire desk. Like I know what you mean when you like the really oversized desk mats. But it does cover a lot of space, which is nice for that purpose.
And then the last thing they have is the Beast Ball by the Wand Company. Okay, here's my hot take. I've been saving for the whole episode. This is the worst one they've released.
What?
For what reason?
It's plastic.
Oh no.
It's not metal?
The only thing metal on it is the yellow accents.
Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah. So
what?
It's because of the lighting.
I have posted if you're watching the YouTube video, I have 15 of them behind me. And when I post them on social media, whether that's Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, there's all the comments are it's whatever. Like I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Whatever. I like collecting them, but it's always like, I can't believe you spent $100 on a plastic Pokeball, right? And my response is like, well, I don't respond to them, but in my head, my response is they're metal. They're a die cast metal. Now I know nothing about metal. I don't know if die cast metal is like when you say that, it's like, that's okay. Or if it's like, no, die cast metal is just
plastic.
Cheap. Yeah, very like I don't full disclosure, I don't know anything about metal. But they're advertised as metal. They feel premium when you Hannah, you held one recently.
Yes. I got to hold a full-size one recently.
Does it feel like plastic? Were you at least
give me your thoughts? It does not feel like plastic. My first reaction was that it is nowhere near as heavy as you have been implying for these years that they have been coming out.
You are probably just stronger than me, and so it doesn't.
What? I don't think it's as you keep comparing it to a pool ball. I don't think it's as heavy as a pool ball. I picked it up and immediately went, "Oh, this is way lighter than I expected." And I started tossing it around.
Like 20 years ago.
I think
so. For context, I have the mini one. I have the mini Pokeball.
Yeah.
It is weighted. It is also metal, so it feels like metal. It feels nice. It is weighted. There's a little bit of a plastic feeling because it's connected with plastic, the top and bottom part. So you can kind of squeeze it and you can feel that it's not
so
solid
the seam
metal.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
The seam is plastic, but it is weighted. Like it is heavier than an item this size. You would expect to be.
Is it as heavy as a cue ball?
No. No. And so knowing how heavy this one was and not having held one of the full-size ones before, when I picked up the full-size one, I was expecting it to be actually weighted and heavy, but I don't think that I would describe it that way. I think I would just describe it as metal. I wouldn't describe it as weighted. So it's heavier than a plastic one would be, and it doesn't feel like plastic. It feels premium. It's a really cool item. I would probably have a collection of them if I could, of my favorite ones at least. But it's not heavy. It's not as heavy as you've been saying for these years, Steve.
So
I am confident that you have more muscle on your body than I do.
That's probably correct.
Is the Beast Ball then lighter than the other ones? If you're holding both of them in your hands, like, is the Beast Ball considerably lighter since it's plastic and not metal?
There is changes, and also the Beast Ball is $20 more than
because it lights up.
The whole thing lights up, yeah.
Right, which is why I'm thinking it's plastic, so that the lights can shine through it in a way that the metal probably couldn't.
Yeah, it would be a much more complicated process to put it together if it was metal.
It'd be like a $200 Beast Ball. If
maybe $250.
Lit up metal.
Oh, it doesn't even look good. Just on the video.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
Oh, luxury ball looks so good though.
Yeah, because the metal one reflects because they are metal and are reflective. Especially you're comparing it to the luxury ball, which is the best looking one of all of them.
Oh yeah.
That's the Beast Ball is so bad.
Yeah.
It's gosh, I maybe I'm just so weak. I do feel like this is very heavy. So can you hear that?
Uh-huh.
Like all I'm doing is I'm putting pressure on it and you can hear the plastic crack. Nothing on the luxury ball. This is very bad audio.
Mine does a little click.
So the yellow, I don't know what these are called. For the audio listeners, if Beast Ball has like 4 yellow arcs around it. Those are metal for sure. But anything blue is plastic.
Weird.
And for the all the other Pokeballs, oh, this is dusty. You can push the center, and then the battery, which is actually, I thought the battery would weigh more, but no, this is pretty hefty. So that pops out, right? So you can replace the battery.
Not expect that to happen at all.
Yeah.
Is that how real Pokeballs happen in the Pokemon universe?
Yeah. It's so I get 2 comments on all these videos. One is people being like, I can't believe you paid $100 for a plastic Pokeball. Again, I don't know the quality of die cast metal. That's just what they say. But
die cast is just how it's shaped.
Oh, okay.
They are metal.
Cool.
And so the Beast Ball, this does not push open at all. It's the only one out of the 15 where the center doesn't push open. There's actually a silicone on the very back, and if you peel it open, there's a USB-C port, and so you can charge it that way. But from my understanding, as plasticky as this ball is, also I'm like actually shifting this entire bracket here.
Oh no.
This is just me, like, the whole thing, it lights up, right?
Yeah.
But there's no way to take the battery out that I know of.
That feels like something I would buy for $30 at Target.
So, again, I several hundred comments of how this is a plastic Pokeball and how could I pay $100 for that, which is not. I'm not justifying the price. Like,
I'm not sure they were worth $100 to begin with, but at least the metal makes them feel like it.
What are you about to like say here? You're like, no, I paid $120 for the plastic.
Right. What I am saying is this one is $120, and that is why I feel like it's the worst one.
Yeah.
Because even though the whole thing lights up, it is actually plastic. Those comments are correct. This is a plastic ball that I paid $120 for with no way to take the battery out. I do kind of like the USB-C on the back. I don't really like the silicone thing on the back to like hide it because you kind of just like peel it. There's no way to like actually open it. It's just kind of like peeling it. And then you heard how
the plasticky sounds and you just being able to move parts of it around it really
I feel like
does.
I'm gonna break it.
Yeah.
If Hannah was holding this right now, it would be shattered because of her muscles.
It feels like a kid's toy that you would get from Target. That's at least the sounds of it.
Yeah.
I really don't like that.
I know that's a bummer because I know that there are only 3 of them that are 120 instead of 100, right? So I think the Master Ball, the Luxury Ball, and the Beast Ball were all 120 instead of 100. And I know the Master Ball, I'm assuming, is also metal for sure, right? And then the Luxury Ball
Master
is
Ball's
metal.
nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a bummer that they did that, especially with
And
the
it is
Beast
at
Ball.
the
It
very
could've been so
top
cool.
of their Pokemon Center 2024 awards show post.
Well, I mean, I think people just like having the Beast Ball.
It looks cool in the product photos.
I, again, because the first 14 were metal, I expected this to be metal.
Yeah.
And it's not. I think Eduardo is wrong here. Love the Beast Ball, in my opinion. It's the best Pokeball out of all of them. The lighting is amazing. The display next to the other Pokeballs is amazing. My favorite so far. I disagree, Eduardo. I do. It's too plasticky. It's $20 more expensive. There's no way to take the battery out. I feel like I'm actually going to like crush it with my weak arms.
Yeah. It does look cool. It looks
Kinda.
nice and sitting up.
From
I don't know.
From a distance.
on my shelf from a distance, it does look exactly like all of them.
Yeah.
And it's a Beast Ball. People love the Beast Ball. But that is unfortunate that it's not the same quality as the I mean, I'd have been okay with just don't have the whole thing light up, make it metal. Because it's got to be the lighting up the whole thing that they had to do plastic instead.
Yeah.
To keep that price down. So just don't have it light up, make it metal. Redo it, Pokemon or One Company.
Yeah, I don't know how many balls they would have left. Safari Ball, Moon Ball,
Speed
Dream Ball,
or
Sport Ball.
Sport Ball.
Dive Ball is already there. Net Ball is already there.
Like the get into the Legends Arceus Pokeballs.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. The netball is the metal, but the like netting on the netball is like plastic.
No, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was all metal when I looked at that. Like, that's a bummer. Too.
Yeah.
Not as much of a bummer as the Beast Ball.
Yeah.
I got sunk cost fallacy on these Pokeballs.
This is the reason I never bought
do.
one was because I would then have to buy all of them. Like in my head, I'd be like, well, now I have to collect them all. And so I was like, I'm not going to buy one so that I don't have to buy them all.
Yeah. I am really limiting myself with the mini ones, making sure I don't do that.
The Beast Ball has really broke me. The Beast Ball is my Pokemon Sleep of the episode.
The Beast Ball is your grubbin.
The Beast Ball is my grubbing. All right, let's take one more break, and then we're going to talk about TCG Pocket. We will be right back. And we are back from our break. Before we get to the TCG news, just a Patreon update. There is more behind the scenes stuff on Patreon. I've been doing like these video exclusive things for Patreon, which kind of show like behind the scenes of how this podcast operates or what I'm doing when I'm not sitting in front of a camera for most of my life. Then I sit in front of a different camera and then upload that to Patreon. So if you're interested in like the ad-free podcast or bonus podcast or now the behind the scenes, I was going to say if you're interested in a Christmas card, you missed that, by the way. The Christmas card has closed down. They have been ordered already. I am waiting for them to get to my house to mail them out. But if you're interested in the other stuff and maybe a Christmas card for next year, maybe head over to the Patreon. Patreon.com/PKMNcast. Okay, that's my little public service announcement. I get a lot of comments on the behind the scenes videos. People seem to really like them, so that's why I'm letting you know they exist if you're interested. You can also just sign up for Patreon for free. There are tiers and some stuff is behind tiers, but to actually follow the podcast on Patreon is free. Okay. There is, I don't know if we got to this, but we'll go through it again because it's near the end of the year. We haven't at least addressed, there's more money stuff around Pocket. But this is, I know for sure we haven't read this. This is the letter to the community that was posted on November 13th, but that was like a month ago, so we'll just recap it here. This is from TPCI Crowbar, not to be confused with TPCI Trash King.
Yep.
I miss Trash King. But Crowbar is here with some news. To all of you playing Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, this is the Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket's operations team. First off, we would like to thank you for everyone who waited in anticipation of the release, as well as everyone who's given the game a try. We are continuing to develop and operate the game so everyone can enjoy it even more. We plan to hold a variety of in-game events in Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket going forward. Now then, today we would like to announce a new content plan to be released for a future major update. To begin, we plan on adding new booster packs by the end of the year. They're running out of time. It's December 8th when we're recording this. In addition, we are aiming to add a feature that will allow certain cards to be traded starting in January of 2025. We are planning to gradually expand the selection of cards that will also be traded. There's no way they're going to allow for gold trading cards. There ain't no way, right? If they're saying certain cards.
Yeah, the way they're saying certain cards, probably not. And that makes me kind of nervous after so many years of Pokemon Go and drip feeding.
I guess. Okay, we can talk about this.
Also, we have new features in development outside the trade feature introduced here. We plan to announce more details about the updates as the dates for the addition of these features are finalized. So please look forward to it. We hope you continue to enjoy Pokemon Trading Card Pocket. Don't forget to open your packs each day. The operations team.
So real quick on the trading thing, I think that's interesting is, let's say they don't allow you to trade gold cards, right? I guess my thing is like, what's the purpose there? Because if it's they don't want people to collect them, like be able to collect them without opening them, then I understand. As far as like battling, doesn't really make a difference because a gold Mewtwo EX is the same as a regular Mewtwo EX. The mechanics are the same, right? So you don't need to have a gold one. You can just trade for a regular one.
I know that there are people out there that have like 30 accounts.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And if they can open 60 booster packs a day for free instead of 2 booster packs a day for free, then they don't have to give the game any money. And then they can trade what they're missing.
Sure. Yeah. I understand that. So one thing that's been floating around as like a theory of how they would do this is similar to crushing a card for obtaining flair. Like you have to have 3 of them in your collection in order to trade one.
Yeah.
So I think that's not that. Again, this is just a like theory. This is not like there's nothing that's been said about this officially. But if they did that, that whole thing of having 30 accounts would be a lot harder because you'd still have to pull 3 of that super rare card before you're able to trade one off to one of your other accounts.
Harder, but
unless you're Hannah, who pulls gold Mewtwo's like left and
still
right.
haven't gotten the third one yet.
I did pull one.
0.
I did pull one, so I was excited about that. But
good. Someone in the comments last time did tell me that I can pull a gold Mewtwo from any of the kinds of packs that I hadn't realized that before. Right. So now I can open packs that aren't just Mewtwo packs.
Right.
Yes, because the immersive cards are limited to their packs.
Mm-hmm.
But the gold are not. Okay.
I still haven't gotten the immersive Mewtwo though, so for now still sticking with the Mewtwo packs.
Same. Yeah, Steve over here with like 17 immersive Mewtwo.
I think I have 3.
Okay.
But no gold. No gold anything. And I'm missing literally missing like Victory Bell and Vileplume to get Mew. And they're not even those aren't even rare. They're rare, but they're not.
You can just pack point.
That sounds like a wonder
I'm not pack pointing a Victory Bell, Bobby.
I pack pointed a couple to get my Mew.
I think you should.
I pack pointed a couple to get my Mew. I'm 3 away from completing this set, not including secret rares, but from completing the 226. I'm 3 away from that. So, and they're all EX cards, so I can't pack one.
We had a conversation in Slack because the last week we talked about how somebody spent $1,500. I'm not going to name any names in Slack. If you want to sign up for $5 a month, you can go in our Slack and see who said this. Anyways, somebody was like, I didn't spend any money, or maybe they said they spent like $75 or something. And they were like, I'm only like 4 cards away.
Yeah.
The 226. I'm not bringing this up to call this person out. I'm bringing this up to be like to let people know, to inform people. The 226 isn't the actual card count.
Correct.
How does this, Bobby? You want to explain how this works, because it's the same thing in the real TCG?
Yeah, it works in the real TCG this way as well. So it little different. So in the real TCG, in the physical TCG, the physical
the
TCG.
real game.
Yeah, not the yeah. So in the physical TCG, let's say the set has like, it says 180 cards. On the bottom corner of the card, bottom right corner, it actually gives you a number out of 180. So you go through the set, you have 1 out of 180, all the way through 180 out of 180. Then you have the secret rares. The secret rares are called secret rares because they are above that number. So then you actually see a card and it's number 181 out of 180. So the like regular set is 180 cards, and then there will be like 50 secret rares. So to actually complete the entire set, you're collecting 230 cards, but to collect the regular set, I guess you would call it, then that's just the initial 180 that's numbered. So same thing happens in Pocket. There are cards that are 226, and then you have everything that I believe is 2-star and up is considered a secret rare in Pocket. So all the 2-star, 3-star, and gold crown cards are secret rares, and they will be a number that's above 226.
And I think somebody else in Slack said there are 58 secret rares.
So I thought it was 60 because there's 286 cards total.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
60.
The gold Mewtwo is 286 out of 226, essentially.
Okay. Yeah. So 226 base, secret. 60 secret.
Mm-hmm.
So people will look at that again. Not this, no shade to anyone. I also, for the first like week of the game, was like, oh, I've made a huge dent in the 226. The 226 is incredibly deceiving, and I've seen this on Twitter. I've seen this in our YouTube comments. I've seen this on Reddit, where people see or hear these articles of somebody spending $700 or $1,000 in the game, and they go, well, I've spent no money and I'm only 6 away. Mm-hmm. No, you are 6 away from completing the base set. It doesn't show you how many. Maybe there's a toggle. I haven't found it. That hasn't shown you like you have 40 of the 60 secret rares. Yeah, I don't think the game shows you that at all.
Yeah. It only shows you the original 226. Like if you go into your deck or you go into your cards and you search or you turn on, you can toggle that thing at the top that shows you which cards you're missing, but it only shows you that for up to the first 226. Yeah. And then after that, it'll show you all the secret rares you have collected, but it won't show you like all the ones you're missing in those spots.
Right. Which I think is just bad. Like, I get that they're secret rares, but like, I don't want to need another resource to like look up what I'm missing.
Yeah. Even in the physical TCG, like if you buy an Elite Trainer box and you get the little booklet that shows you all the cards, it shows you all the secret rares as well. Like it'll show you that, it's like,
and
it's
then
like
underneath those pictures, it has like the number, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. So you know that they're secret rares.
I feel like I remember someone mentioning that there was a setting, and now I'm trying to find it.
There is a setting. There is a setting when you go to search. So if you actually click on the little magnifying glass to search, you can, at the bottom, there's a setting that says card decks view options.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says by default, some unknown cards are hidden in the card deck's view. Toggle on the settings below to temporarily display unowned cards in those categories. And that's cards with a rarity of 1 star or greater. So I think if you turn those on and hit OK and scroll down. Yeah. Okay. So if you turn that on,
you have to hit the toggle first and then hit the magnifying glass.
Hit the toggle, magnifying glass, and then hit the toggle in the magnifying glass.
That's
and then
ridiculous.
And you can see
and then it works. Okay, yep. I see. Okay, because I see the 286 would be the gold Mewtwo, because I think the immersive Mew is 283.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm missing a huge chunk of the secret rares. But again, it doesn't update the number. It's so mine says 212 out of 226.
Yeah.
So I could be like, I'm only 14 cards away. But then I'm like, I don't have any of the gold cards. I don't have Mew. I don't have like 20 some secret rares.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I was actually wrong. The secret rares start with the 1-star cards, not the 2-star. So every 1-star and above is a secret rare.
One
And if you
star
go to
gold.
if you go to the top of your the 1-star gold cards, if you go to the top of your thing where it shows you 220, or mine says 223 out of 226, it shows the
You're
little
3 away,
diamond.
Bobby. You're 3 away.
I know, I'm 3 away. It shows the little diamond to the left, so that's showing me like everything that is a 1 through 4 diamond. I have 223 out of the 226, and then it's telling me I have 23 secret rares. Like it tells you, it shows a little star next to the number in the middle.
That's what the star is. Okay,
And
so
that
I have
tells you-
29 secret rares.
Right. So then, and then there's a little crown next to that, and it shows for me like 1 because I have 1 of the gold.
I have
gold
no
cards.
crown. I don't even have I have no crown at all.
Sad. no crown for Steve. Yeah. So, but it doesn't tell you. That is interesting. It doesn't tell you how many secret rares there are. Right.
Mhm.
Whereas, like
Yeah.
the diamond, it shows 223 out of 226. The star just shows me the number I have, and the crown just shows me the number I have. It doesn't say like out of how many. But you can go manually count them if you have that.
Yeah, you can
Okay,
scroll and you
cool.
can see the ones you're missing, but it is absolutely ridiculous how hidden that setting is.
Yeah, you have toggle, magnifying glass, scroll down, toggle.
Uh-huh.
They're secret. Keep them secret.
Oh, that makes sense. Speaking of collecting all the cards, this is off CBR.com. This was published 3 days ago. According to PocketGamer.biz, the virtual card collecting mobile game has been a hit among Pokemon players. The TCG Pocket hitting an estimated $208 million of gross revenue as of November 29th. These things are figured based on App Magic estimates, which, if we scroll down, it says the mobile game's best single day aligned with the Fire Pokemon Mass Outbreak event, which was $8.4 million on November 22nd. Is that just when they did the Arcanine stuff?
Yeah, that's the Arcanine.
Why did they use the
I'm
word
surprised
outbreak?
by that.
They call that's
They've
what they
been
call
using
the event,
those, yeah.
an outbreak event.
Yeah.
Oh, they've been calling them outbreaks?
Yeah.
That's what they called the Arcanine one, the fire one.
Interesting. I guess I missed that term.
Mm-hmm.
During this limited time event, Pokemon TCG Pocket players received a free bonus pull guaranteeing Fire type Pokemon. They also said that Pokemon Go generated over $8 billion since its launch in 2016. Pocket's gross revenue has already passed other Pokemon mobile games. 2023's Pokemon Sleep is at $120 million to this day. Just to remind you, they are saying $208 million for Pocket, and it has not even been out for 2 months. It's already past Sleep. Pokemon Unite, which came out in 2021, has only made $82.7 million. Also, that should be news in itself that Pokemon Sleep has made more money than Pokemon Unite. That is kind of crazy.
That's ridiculous.
And then Pokemon Go, the only other Pokemon game that has made more money than TCG Pocket. And then the only other game that has made more money than TCG Pocket currently is Pokemon Masters EX, which came out in 2019, and that has made $300 million. So
in lifetime revenue. So Pocket is going to surpass it in the next month or two.
Yes.
Yeah.
And another thing I noticed that Vincent pointed out in the Slack was that Marvel Snap's lifetime revenue is at $275 million. So Pocket is actually really close to surpassing Snap already.
Take that, Mickey Mouse.
Actually, let me double check when that article was from. Yeah, that was from October of this year. So Snap is probably a little higher than that at this point, but not much.
Wow.
Pocket is generating revenue.
Yeah, seriously.
That's crazy.
That is wild.
Wait, was there? Well, I would really. Where's the cafe remix? I need to know how much they're making. Yeah. we're supposed to get new booster packs by the end of the year. I think they were rumored to be Ho-Oh and Lugia booster, so 2 booster packs. I think Ho-Oh was supposed to be on one, Lugia was supposed to be on the other. That's the rumor, at least.
Mm-hmm.
What comes after that, I don't know. I don't even know if they're considering what comes next, like a smaller set or a limited set, or like what do they call it in the physical game, Bobby? Like
they call
a special set?
Holiday set usually. Special set is another term, but I mean, $208 million so far. They're definitely considering all kinds of things, I'm sure.
The wailing is strong.
People like buying Pokemon cards. People like opening packs of Pokemon cards. This is very, very clear.
Mm-hmm.
They make it very easy to spend money and to rip 10 packs open very quickly.
Yeah. They do. That's true. Yeah, it continues to be a very fun game. And since they just, I think we talked about it last week, but since they just did the new Venusaur event and the new, and then the premium, renewed for December, so they have new stuff there, just gets people to jump in and do more. So I think if they can keep these things up, I really do think like having a solo event almost like once a month is a really good idea, because it's fun to be able to do these battles and not have to just like worry about battling other people, but you get to do the battles against the computer and stuff. And I think that's really fun. And I assume that we'll see another PvP event, maybe when like these new packs release. I could see them doing some kind of mini PvP event with that as well. So
yeah, I feel like I'm already bored with the battling, and that's like not a bad. I don't mean that in like a bad way. But I do mean that in a way of somebody who played the TCG competitively for almost 4 years and like went to tournaments every weekend. I'll just explain it again because I know we have new listeners because we started covering Pocket and people are excited about Pocket. But like in the physical TCG, what would happen is a set comes out every 3 months. And so the first month a set comes out, like everyone's excited. Everyone's trying new cards. People are trying new decks. People are taking new cards and putting them in their old decks. And then usually at that point, like a local tournament has happened or a regional tournament has happened. And some deck, whatever deck wins, becomes like this staple. So the second month of that set, people are trying to either counter that or solidify like what's good. And then when the third month happens, no one is interested anymore. Everyone's like, we've been playing this for 2 months. It's boring. I want new cards. And then so the third month, everyone's just waiting for that new set. And then the cycle starts over. And that is how the TCG has been. I left the TCG, obviously, but that is still exactly how it's been. Mm-hmm. And I've already felt that with Pocket. And again, I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm not like trying to complain about it or dog on it. It's just that there's not as many cards in Pocket as there are in the current TCG, because also the current TCG cycles out cards every 2 years. So you can still use cards from 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And you can make more decks and you can be more experimental. I think that like we already have the established decks, right? We have the Pikachu deck, we have the Charizard deck, we have the Mewtwo deck. I think those are all considered S tier. I don't know where Charizard came from. I think Charizard won a couple tournaments and then people realized that, oh, actually Charizard is good, and it's made its way into S tier. And then you have like your A tier decks, which is like Articuno. Pretty much like every water deck is like A tier, and the only reason it's like not S tier is because like Misty is so unreliable.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you have like I don't even know if like Arbok and Weezing is like A tier. In my head, it's like B tier. Like I don't think it's as good as the other decks. And then there's like Dragonite, and as somebody who built that Dragonite deck, I don't know. I just don't think I think it's really clunky. But I would love more cards. Like I'm slightly bored, but again, because there's not a lot of cards. It's been 2 months now. Specifically trainer cards, because like every deck is like 2 Oak, 2 Pokeball, no matter what. 2 almost like I'm pretty sure every deck's like 2 Sabrina, no matter what too. So like 6 of your 20 cards are the same.
Yep, that's
item.
They need to definitely. I was hoping that this smaller set or whatever they're calling it that they're going to release is more trainer heavy, because it would be nice. There could be so many things that happen with just adding a few different trainers into the mix. All of a sudden, all these decks can change drastically. So, or I mean, that doesn't even need to be trainer heavy, but like just make sure there are a decent amount of trainers in the set so that it can really change up what's been going on the last couple months. Because they can do a lot with a few cards. They can really change things up with a few cards.
And I think the two, I don't know if we have time to talk about it, but the two things that stick out of my head, in my mind, is, are they going to do something about turn 1? Because people aren't happy about it. It's probably like the most vocal complaint I hear about the game is like turn 1 feels unfair. And I don't know if I don't know if I have strong feelings about it either way, because I feel like there's still skill level there. Like a better player is still going to win whether they go turn 1 or turn 2, unless it's Misty and you just flip like 5 heads off the bat. And skill doesn't matter at that point. I don't know what the balance for that is, because again, as somebody who used to play competitively years ago, like a decade ago, turn 1 was incredibly powerful, and they over time changed the rules to balance out turn 1. And now people are in Pocket are saying turn 2 is incredibly powerful. So I don't know if there's going to be a change there. And another thing on my mind is, are they going to tweak and change cards? Like, for example, with Misty, it would be like, this actually only works on Lapras and Blastoise. Or are they just going to introduce new cards to counter other cards? But there's no counter to Misty, right? Like if somebody starts turn 1 with Misty and flips 5 heads and you only have 1 Pokemon, you just auto lose. You don't. There's no counter to that. You just lost.
Right.
Yeah.
I still think, and I know that other digital card games do this. They do change the card after the card has been out. So I get it. Like I don't play other TCGs, so I don't know. But from what I've been told, that does happen. It still feels weird to me, especially because you're paying money. Like you're paying money to open packs, and then pack points come up, and you might craft a Misty card or whatever out of the pack points and things like that. That they then change that. Like I'm spending real money to get a specific card, and now you're changing what that card is after I've like spent money to get it.
Yeah, it's like in Pokemon Unite, you buy a character, it's overpowered at first, then they tweak it so it's less overpowered.
True. That's true.
They sure do. Just because they change a card, though, doesn't mean it's completely useless.
No, I'm not saying it is, but like if I bought that card, I know you don't buy cards directly, so it's like you're buying packs, you're opening cards, but then you can use those pack points, right, to then get a specific card. And it feels weird. It's like I got my pack points together to get this specific card from this set, and then now it's not that card anymore. Now it's not the card that I got. But
I think Hannah made a great point, though. There are people that will buy a character in Unite just because like that is the easy win condition to spend. I don't know how much is a Unite character, like $8, $10,
something like that.
And then when it gets nerfed or adjusted, then people move to whatever.
That's just the way that it works, I guess. So I mean, like,
it feels weird with cards because we're so used to thinking of cards as like you have the physical thing that it itself will never change, but this is different.
I guess just when I think about like how they do that in at least the Pokemon TCG, the way that they nerf those cards is by putting out something else that like balances it out versus
but
like
not always. We've had this discussion before. I feel like I remember there being a case where a card was actually changed,
but that was
Pokemon Catcher.
But then once it phased out, so like you could still use that Pokemon Catcher card until it phased out of the TCG, right?
Yeah, and they can just do that faster.
Yeah, I mean,
in Pocket.
right, in a digital world they can do it faster. I mean, there have been hard card bans in in TCG. RIP Birthday Pikachu.
Yeah.
Do you guys know? Oh, here, we'll end on this. There's a card called Birthday Pikachu. It's like 60 HP. It does I think it does 40 or 50 damage for 1 energy.
Mhm.
Or it's like 20 damage, I think. But if it's your birthday, it does more. And
Yeah.
so it was
Mhm.
tournament legal for a long time. Not a long time, but it was tournament legal at one point in time. And people would bring it and play it at tournaments, and they would go, well, it's my birthday,
Yeah.
so the card does more damage. And then people would call judges over, and it's a bunch of 14, 15. I mean, if it wasn't an adult. So anyone under 17 or
Mhm.
anyone under 18 that wouldn't have, well, I don't know. There's probably plenty of 18-year-olds that are not walking around with IDs. But people would call judges over and be like, it's his birthday, but it's the guy's next to him birthday, but it's this guy's birthday. And the judges had no way to actually legally prove that it was the person's birthday.
Mhm. Mhm.
Even if they had a school ID, it's not like the school. Well, maybe some school IDs have the birthday on. So
Mine
you
never
would
did.
go to the tournament and everyone's playing Birthday Pikachu and everyone is saying it's their birthday to do more damage. And they had to ban the card because there was no way to prove it was your birthday.
That's so good. That's so good.
So what I'm saying is they should add Birthday Pikachu to Pocket.
And that birthday Pikachu also, the card, if you look at the card, it's I forget exactly how it does it, but there's a blank space in there because it's so and so's birthday. And so the idea was when you buy the card or you open the card, you write your name right where that
Mhm.
blank line is. And so now there's a lot of people 30 years later who are because that birthday Pikachu card exploded in value at one point in time, but then all these people are like, well, mine has my name written on it.
Yeah,
So it's
mine
not
does.
worth anything.
Yep.
Yeah. Good times.
Whew, real good. Okay, that's our episode for you guys today. Thank you for making it to the end. We'll be back next week. And just to make sure here, okay, none of our Sundays fall on an actual holiday. But
Not this year.
Not this year, but
well,
we'll still be doing episodes throughout the entire year. We don't take a week off. So I know some podcasts do. Totally understandable. Where a podcast will go missing for 2 weeks because of New Year's and Christmas, but we'll have an episode for the rest of the year and then all next year, and we can keep going. So thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Hannah. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super thinking about our favorite Pokemon Center items from the year because I don't think it's the Beast Ball.
Insert the crunchy noise.